Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. I'm Chris, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about Spider-Man No Way Home. And it is a very hot topic of discussion, with a lot of you guys wondering exactly what is going to be happening, as even though we are calling it the worst kept secret in Hollywood, I think a fair amount of you guys are still concerned whether or not we will be seeing Andrew, Toby, and Tom share the screen. And as most of you know by now, Mr. Garfield has refused any knowledge of being involved in Spider-Man whatsoever. But I'm going to be honest with you, this is some of the worst acting I've ever seen, and I do hope that he does better in the actual film, which I'm very positive that he is in. He goes from saying, no, I don't know anything about this photo, to, oh, I know about this photo, and it's photoshopped, it's not real. So all of these weird, different reactions, faces, smile, smirking, laughing, it kind of makes me feel like there's nothing to really worry about. And I've been asked several times this as well from different lives or comments or on Twitter, and you guys have wondered how many percents I think we will seeing all three Spider-Men in the film, and quite frankly, I'm sitting at 95% sure. Every single major outlet has been talking about how they know that this is going to have all three Spider-Men. There's not one out there. Hollywood Reporter, Variety, The Cosmic Wonder, so many different people, Daniel RPK, scoopers, YouTubers, media outlets, newspapers, all are saying the same thing, and that is that we should be expecting all three Spider-Men in this film. So if, for whatever reason, this actually is all incorrect reporting and every single reporter out there is wrong about it, it would be pretty surprising. Now, I wanted to talk specifically today about what I would love to see happen in the plot of Spider-Man No Way Home with the three Spider-Men. Now, there's a lot of options here with three different Spider-Men coming from three different universes, and we still don't really know the direction the whole multiverse is going to head. Whether or not it's going to end up being completely closed by Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, or if it's going to remain open. And which of those exactly is going to end up happening has a huge factor as to what happens to these Spider-Men moving forward, because if they're going to remain in the main MCU timeline, it probably seems plausible that they need a way out, need a way to return home, and that kind of is the whole preface of the title, No Way Home, where they will be looking for a way to get back to the universe where they belong after Doctor Strange and Peter Parker messed up a pretty intense and complicated spell. But the following is not a plot leak, it is my own personal ideas and desire of an idea for a fan plot, we'll call it. This is what I would like to see happen with the three Spider-Men. Consider subscribing to the channel if you love to stay up to date on all of this major movie and television news, including obviously Spider-Man No Way Home. And also check out Twitter and Discord, where the community is continuing to grow and chat. The links are in the description down below. Okay, so for starters in my fan plot, I want to see all three Spider-Men. There's no question about that. After the spell goes awry in Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man realizes that everything's kind of falling apart around him. He ends up finding out that there are villains who are after him who he's not familiar with. He also finds out that everybody doesn't remember who he is. Even Doctor Strange has a hard time remembering who he is. And this is going to be important moving forward because the only people who are going to recognize him will be the other two Spider-Men, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Now, they're going to be on the hunt for these characters that we know, the villains, and the plethora of them. I think there will be even more than 6 coming. I think we're going to get about 8, 9, or 10 of them, and then eventually that will be shaved and whittled down into the Sinister Six at the end for the third act or for a future film for one of the Spider-Men. But we'll get back to that in just a second. So moving forward, the three Spider-Men recognize each other and nobody recognizes who they are except this group of villains that's coming after them. Shortly and throughout the movie, there will be other characters who will remember who Spider-Man is, like MJ and Ned, and maybe any of the other beloved characters that will be coming over for the other Spider-Men, as eventually they are convinced and told and remember who each of the Spider-Men are. Now, the really interesting part for me, and I think it's going to be the big final fight scene, I would like to see one Spider-Man die. I don't know that necessarily I would like to see it, like enjoy watching it happen, but I think it would be a very impressive inclusion in this film that would leave a pretty lasting mark. Now, I think the most impactful death would definitely be Tobey Maguire. First off, he's had his 3 films, he was beloved, he wasn't really left on a cliffhanger or anything like that, and as much as I would love to hear and know what's going on with him and MJ, and if they had a kid or what's going on with Aunt May, all of that stuff, I think maybe we can hear that from his mouth, and then he passes on and he's made a Spider-Man sacrifice to help save the other 2. Now, after the Sinister Six are captured or defeated, or some of them get away and go into hiding, like potentially Osborn, who may remain in the MCU from what we actually are hearing from real plot leaks, then Andrew Garfield will make the decision to return to his universe. Now, we don't have a confirmation of what his universe is, but I think it would be super cool if his universe was Venom's universe. So Andrew Garfield returns to his universe, and Venom and Andrew Garfield in Venom's third movie and in Spider-Man's third movie get to have Spider-Man versus Venom. And Andrew Garfield is in charge of taking on Venom and not Tom Holland, because Tom Holland's going to remain in the MCU, and Tom Holland hopefully has more things to do and to take care of in becoming a real Avenger and fighting other big bads. Can't really be busy off fighting Venom, but we can leave that to Andrew Garfield, who I think would do a really cool job fighting against Tom Hardy. That also leaves room, if Sony wants to play ball, for a completely new Venom in the MCU. Maybe even just the symbiote originally, who can take over Tom Holland, like we see in the comics so frequently, and then after the fact that can even open the door to another new Venom in another different universe, which of course will excite a lot of people. And if Tom Holland is the one that fights Venom, the one that's already created in the Sony universe, well, that kind of wipes off the opportunity to have Venom in the MCU separately in the future. So I think it would help and stop a lot of confusion. I think it would be a lot of fun to see Andrew Garfield return as Spider-Man and take on Venom and all of the different options that are there. And then the Sinister Six could possibly remain in the MCU, and Spider-Man could get a film fighting those characters. The Sinister Six that remains at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home are going to want their revenge on the Spider-Man that they are encountered with, and even though they might have gotten away with killing one of them, they'll know that there were three. One's returned to his universe, and one, Tom Holland, is remained in the MCU to fight what's left of the Sinister Six, or the first actual official grouping of the Sinister Six. I think that would be a lot of fun to see. I think it would be pretty emotional to watch all of that pan out on the big screen, to see Spider-Man feel completely alone and then be grouped together with other Spider-Men who recognize him because he's them. But they're different. They're from different universes, from different generations of viewers who watch their movies. They have different impacts. Each character will be loved for different reasons by different people. And to see an ultimate reflection of a sacrifice, an actual consequence that remains, would be very, very heart-wrenching, but also would give a real cool mark to the film. Then, like I've already mentioned, Andrew Garfield goes off and fights Venom. Tom Holland stays and fights the Sinister Six, enjoys the Avengers. I think we get the most bang for our buck out of Spider-Man in this manner. Now, like I was saying, this isn't a real plot leak, this is a fan leak. I would like to see these things happen. I think they're very comprehensive, they're easy to follow, and it would be a lot of fun. But let me know in the comment section down below what you would like to see. What are your fan plots? What would you like to have happen with the Spider-Man, and how would you like to see them save the day in Spider-Man No Way Home, coming to theaters December 17th? Thank you guys so much for watching to the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, consider subscribing, turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our daily videos, our podcasts, our live watch parties, and so much more happening right here on Cosmic Culture.